What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is going to be the Paladins Genlock / mid-season tier list for the frontline / tank category, and this is going to be the last video of the 4-part video series. If you guys missed any of the other videos, I did tier lists for the supports, for the flanks, and for all the DPS. I will be linking a playlist at the end of this video, and there also is a playlist live on the channel right now under the playlist section, so you guys can go check it out yourself if you guys want to check out the rest of the tier lists. Pretty much what this is going to be, it's going to be an in-depth console tier list. Keep in mind it's going to be console, and we're going to be going over the tanks. We did all the other roles. This is the last one, and going to be the last video for the tier list for now. So you guys have been enjoying the tier list so far. I cannot thank you guys enough for all the support and all the videos so far. Hopefully it's the same for this one. There's a lot to talk about, and I'm going to talk about everything and anything. So before I do get into this, let me know. Leave a like down below. If we can get this video to 20 to 25 likes within the first 3 days of this video being up, that would be absolutely insane. Also subscribe and share the video. For some reason, like more than half of you guys that usually watch these types of videos from me, like, aren't subscribed. I don't know why you guys aren't subscribed. It's 100% free. Big red button down below this video. Click on it. It's fully free, and you get a shit ton of content from me. And if you love Paladins, this is the place to be right now. So tier list, I stream the game. If you guys do not want to miss my live streams, I stream ranked games. The day I actually throw this video up, probably later tonight. You guys are probably seeing this video in the afternoon. The video, or the day this video is going up later tonight, I'm going to be streaming probably some viewer games. So if you guys want to stop by for that. And you do not want to miss anything. I stream Smite. I stream a bunch of other games. Overwatch, Apex Legends. If that interests you, please subscribe. I really would appreciate it. It really does help me out and help out the channel. And sharing the video. If you guys missed the last 3 videos as well, I'm not going to talk about like the whole, pretty much like the entire tiering or pretty much anything else. Go watch the other 3 videos. I talk about pretty much everything there. SS, your stuff that you're going to be banning and picking every single game. It's your absolute broken shit right now that needs to be nerfed to the ground or way overtuned. S is going to be the stuff that you're going to be picking. Not really necessarily worth a ban, but it's going to be your stuff that's really, really, really good, and you're going to be picking it in like 99% of your games. A plus above average. A is just your average stuff. B is below average. C is really situational, and D maybe only has like one situation you'd ever pick it. Otherwise, they're pretty much garbage. Then you got F tier, which is Moji tier. That being said, I'm going to get right into this. 100% opinionated tier list. So if you guys do not agree with me, or if there's something I do not talk about or explain fully enough, let me know in the comments down below. I respond to pretty much all the comments. So let me know in the comments down below. I'd recommend watching the entire video first. Don't make yourself look stupid like a lot of people end up doing. They'll skip the video and they'll just go right to the comment section. Don't be stupid. Could get right into this. We're going to start out with Ashe. Also, I do have like the character down in the right corner. For some reason, the game is being really weird. I cannot get it to work tonight. So if it looks really blurry and down in the right hand corner in game, because I'm using that from the in game, that's the game itself. I cannot get it to work. The last couple videos I got it to work and it was fine. The game's being really dumb tonight. I don't know what it is, but that's a problem with the game. It doesn't want to load the textures, and it looks really blurry. So that's not on your end, guys. I know there's going to be some comments about that. If it does look really blurry, or if any of the champions look really blurry, that's the problem. It's the game itself. Not me, not you. It's the game. Getting that out of the way, we're going to get right into it with Ashe. I don't think she's that good. I do not think Ashe is that good right now, y'all. I don't think she's that good. Like, I'm debating on whether putting her in A tier or like a B tier, because I think B tier is probably more better for her right now. Like, the only reason you pick Ashe is if you pick her on the maps that you're able to like knock people off the side of the map, and like the maps that have a lot of space where you're able to just bully people off the map, or like it will have a lot of space to where you can just bully people out. Like, that's what she does. Right now, with a lot of the shit being played, you're not able to do your job. Like with a lot of the top tier picks, at least for tanks, you're not able to do your job. She just isn't good right now. Her damage is really bad. Like 400 is not bad, and that's a direct shot. The majority of the time, you're just going to be getting like AoE. She shoots in an AoE because she's a blaster, and you're not going to be getting your full damage anyways. I think her damage needs to be tuned up to 425 this next patch. She's just lacking something right now. She really is. Like, she's really bad into a lot of the majority of the tanks that are like being played right now, like the way better tanks. She just doesn't do anything versus them. She's an okay off tank, but there's just so many better options. The reason why I'm putting her at a B is because she's map dependent. The only way you're going to be picking her is if you run her on like a map that has like a lot of like open edges and where you're able to get like free kills by knocking people off the side of the map and maybe getting cheeky kills, or where there's like a lot of high ground and you're able to just hold the high ground by knocking people down off the high ground or just playing around the high ground. She's good at controlling like a certain high ground or like an area, but apart from that, there's really no reason to pick her right now. That's why I'm putting her at a B tier. Maybe you guys think differently, but I just don't think she's that good right now. I really don't. Like, she has a really good ult. Her ult is fine. Like, you can stun people out with your ult. You can get kills, and you can rack up like a steamroll off the stuns on her ult, and you can buy your team time. It's fine for what it is, but I feel like she just doesn't do anything right now with a lot of stuff being played. I think she won't be better either. Like, if they don't buff her either, I think her damage needs to be buffed. I think that's where I'd start with her. I really do. I think she doesn't do enough damage. Like, you look at all the other tanks in the game, they do insane amounts of damage. And then you just have Ashe that just doesn't really do that much. 400 is pretty much mosquito bite type damage. I think they need to buff it up to 425 or maybe even 450 per shot. I think that'd be really cool. I don't know. Just kind of there right now. There's really no reason to pick her if there's a lot of other shit currently available and that's available in your game. You usually pick a lot of other stuff over her right now. Unless you're just like an absolute Ashe god and you love playing her and you think she's fun. I think she's fun to play. I do. I love the bully type play style that she brings to the game, but I just don't think she's good right now versus all the shit that's being played. Until a lot of the top tier stuff gets nerfed and brought back and reeled back in, at least balance wise, you're not going to see Ashe very much. And if you do, you're kind of just hindering yourself by picking her over a lot of the other stuff currently in the game. That's the problem with her right now. We got Atlas next. I told you guys. I told you. If you guys have been watching my channel for a long time, I was like, I've been telling you guys that you guys are sleeping on Atlas. Atlas has so much hidden potential. You guys just aren't playing him for some reason. There's so much with Atlas that makes him good. People are finally starting to realize that Atlas is really good. You're seeing a lot of Atlas in your ranked games. It's mainly a thing that came from PC. There was a lot of higher tier players on PC that were just doing it really well with them. People kind of caught on to it, and they're like, oh, well, actually, Atlas, I thought he was kind of bad, but he's actually really, really good. People are starting to play him now, guys, and we're actually seeing some really good Atlas players in our ranked games, probably for the first time ever since he's been released, which is unfortunate, but really sad. But now it's starting to happen, which is good. S tier, one of the best off tanks in the game, especially if you know what you're doing. He does insane amounts of damage. That's not counting headshots. He does 900 at a fully charged shot, and that's not counting headshots. I think with headshots, like 1050 for a headshot. Insane. Really fast charging ult. You have a really solid amount of loadout cards. He actually got kind of buff nerfed this patch. They nerfed Temporal Shield up to, I think, a 60% increased cooldown on your barrier, and then they reworked, I think it was pretty much one of his useless talents. I think it was one of his useless talents to the point where if you're close enough to somebody, you'll actually rewind them without having to use like your rewind on somebody, your actual ability. Like before, you could use rewind and it would throw out a projectile that would slowly explode and do like 1,000 damage, which was garbage. I forgot the talent's name. I probably know what it is, but it's not really worth running. I think if you run them right now, you either pick like, I think Temporal Divide's still really good, or you run pretty much like the whatever his other one is, like the one you throw out. It's not a actual like single target rewind. It's the AoE rewind. I forgot what the name of it is too, but whatever. And I still think Exile is really good too. Like Exile as an alt, if you know how to use Exile, you get so much value. You can't heal anybody that's exiled. You can pretty much target down specific people while people are exiled so they can't heal for them. Can protect their backline. Really good alt if you know how to play it, and a lot of people are starting to realize that Atlas is really good. The one problem with Atlas, though, is you don't pick him as a point tank. He is probably one of the worst point tanks in the game. He is the only tank in the game, or one of the only tanks. There's a couple others that you never play as a point tank either, but like one out of a handful of tanks in the game that you never play as a point tank. You can't do it. It's impossible. If you want to feed and you want to lose, pick solo tank Atlas and you'll lose. If you pick him, you need to pick him as an off tank, and you need to know what you're doing. You need to know how to manage your cooldowns. You need to know when to ult and when to ult the proper things and get value out of your ult. There's a lot to him. He's not simple. If you're looking for a simple off tank to play, this is not the simple one for you. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to feed free kills. So if you at least know what you're doing with Atlas, you'll put in a ton of work. He has a lot of potential, and a lot of people actually realizing his potential right now, and that's why he's at S tier. I told you guys patches ago he was really underrated. People are finally playing him. Do not be surprised if he gets nerfed this next patch too, because he's doing really well right now. S tier, 100%. As an off tank, I think he's one of the best in the game currently. Up next, we got Barrack. Architectonics got reworked into a brand new talent. I think it's called Forge Fire. I think that's what it's called. Putting Barrack right now, he's going right up. I really want to put him in an SS. I just don't think he's really worth like a ban. There's more tanks in the game that you're going to ban. I think he's S tier though. I really do. You have really good talents still. Like all your talents have some type of use. You have the barrier one, you have the new Forge Fire, which is great. Like you can play him as a point tank or as like a really aggressive off tank. Like his loadout cards are way overtuned right now. He pretty much forces your team to buy Bulldozer. Like if you don't have enough damage on your team, like you gotta buy Bulldozer versus him. Especially with his loadout cards right now, I think like something insane. Like at a level 5, he has like combat repair. Level 5 is healing like 450 health for any of his deployables per second if you're standing by him. Way overtuned. Right now he's kind of overtuned. I really do think he is. I think he's going to get some type of nerf this next patch to bring him more in line, but right now he's one of the best tanks in the game. You can play him as a really aggressive off tank or like a point tank. He can do anything. You really can. He has a really good ult with Dome Shield's great. One of the best tanks ult in the game still. It can get countered by a couple things. There's a lot of stuff in the game that can counter it, but overall it's really solid, really consistent, does great damage. He does insane amount of damage. And I think if you want a really easy to play point tank right now that's not really boring like stuff like Fernando and Jagras, I think Barrack is the perfect fit for you. I really do. He's doing really well right now. Do not be surprised if Barrack gets nerfed this next patch because he's really overtuned right now. He really is. He's great. I just don't think he's worth a ban over some of the other tanks that we're going to discuss in a little bit right now. I think that's the problem. But I think he's definitely, you're going to be looking at him. He's going to be getting picked in the majority of your games as like a top tier pick, at least for tanks right now. Really good. Next, we got Fernando. Yeah, I'm going to put Fernando right up to S tier because he's fucking broken and he's so annoying to go against. Way overtuned. Fernando right now is way overtuned. Way overtuned. Needs to be nerfed. He's annoying. He's to the point where he's annoying. He's really boring to play. If you like a champion that's really boring to play and you just do nothing the entire game apart from like holding up your shield and throwing down an ult every 3 minutes, there's the perfect champion for you. You can play Fernando. I think that'd be the perfect one for you. He just has way too much survivability, and he just counters teams that aren't picked well enough into him. Meaning, if you don't pick enough damage into a Fernando, you lose. You pretty much automatically lose. You need to have a really good DPS or a flank on your team, which is kind of rare, that does a shit ton of damage. There really ain't that many flanks in the game right now to do a shit ton of damage apart from like a handful. And they have to be focusing the entire game too. A flank's not going to want to sit and focus a Fernando shield the entire time. Like he is way overtuned. If you want, Fernando right now is the definition of what you want for a point tank, because the guy is pretty much unkillable until people start getting Wrecker 3, Wrecker 2, or Wrecker 3, and then when police like start like multiple people, even with like one person with like Wrecker 2, like he can still survive a really good amount. You pair that with a really good healer, something like a Saris, something like a Furia, something like a Damba, like a really, really good healer that just shits out healing and does a shit ton of healing, and you're going to have a really good game. He pairs really well with a lot of the top tier healers right now. It's one of those things too, like you can just plop him onto a team. You can play him as an off tank if you really want to. Like, yeah, you can. But I think right now, you definitely just going to play him with Aegis. If you guys not know the reason why he's so good, Aegis got reworked from being a cooldown type talent to making his shield into a resource-based type talent similar to Leon's shield for Khan. And if you're not shooting at his shield, it automatically regenerates. It no longer has a cooldown. So it's pretty much impossible. You can run like max health on it. Like there's loadout cards where you can get max health, like movement speed with your shield up. There's a lot of insane loadout cards for what he has right now too. So, not to mention Immortal, like one of the best tank alts in the game. One of the best tank alts in the game. Like especially if you can time it right and you can use it with when the enemy's throwing out crucial alts that would normally confirm kills. Mainly stuff like Sky Bombs, Drogo Assaults, ROM alts, like shit that would normally kill, like squishies and stuff, and you time your ult perfectly. You pretty much force the enemy team that used the ult at that time to pretty much just waste their ult because they got no value out of it. Normally it's shit that would instantly kill somebody, or like get a shit ton of damage off, or like kill squishies. Pretty much useless. So, one of the best tank ults in the game. He's just way overtuned right now. Fernando's way overtuned. If you like a really boring tank to play, but just really, really effective and pretty much overtuned and broken right now, and really annoying to play against, you play Fernando. Going to be getting banned in a lot of your games. I think he's definitely worth a ban because he's so fucking annoying to go against. He really is. And he pretty much forces you to draft like a DPS that shield breaks really well. If you pick shit like that doesn't do much damage at all, and you're going to try picking that into like a Fernando, say you pick like 2 flank, for example, and you bypass a DPS, you're going to struggle. You are, unless you like force yourself, like force somebody on your team that normally doesn't buy a Wrecker, force them to buy a Wrecker. Like, and then you're just getting value because you're forcing the enemy team to buy a Wrecker when they shouldn't have to buy a Wrecker, and you're bypassing their other items that they normally buy, so you're getting huge value there. So, overtuned, going to be banning him, and you're going to be picking him every single game. If you want to win, you pick Fernando right now. Unfortunately, he's annoying to go against, and I hate going against him, but that's just kind of how it is. Up next, we got Onara. Onara right now there's nothing special about Onara. There really isn't. She's average. Onara's average. What makes her special apart from all the other tanks being played right now, I have no idea. Like, she doesn't have a shield. She can't stay out of Cauterize, which also reduces her survivability. She has built-in Rejuvenate in her base kit, which is fine and all, but like her ultimate takes too long to charge. Her damage numbers are fucking garbage. She does barely any damage. Like, you look at all the other tanks that are really good right now, they do insane damage numbers, or they have shields and are able to survive way better. Onara doesn't have any of that. She has no shield, but she has Rejuvenate in her base kit, which is good. But then her damage is garbage. Her ult charge is extremely slow. Her damage numbers are trash. She has good utilities with talents. Like, yeah, her talents give her a lot of utility. You got CC immunity, you got Cripple, you got Wall talent, which can be good on some maps like Bright Marsh mainly, and maybe 1 or 2 other maps, depending on your team comp. It can work. It's not useless talent. I just don't think there's really no reason to pick her over like a lot of the other shit right now. Like, why would you pick an Onara over a Barrack or even like a Fernando? There's no reason at all. There's no reason to pick Onara over like a Barrack or Fernando if you want like a point tank. And don't even think about picking her as an off tank because you're just throwing. The only way you pick her is for a point tank, and there's just so many better options right now. She's weak. I think the reason why she's not really as good is because there's stuff that's way overtuned right now, and until that either gets nerfed or she gets buffed, she's going to be in the exact same place. That's kind of where Onara is right now, unfortunately. Up next, we got Khan. Going right up to SS tier. Like, I thought he was shit. Like, I think it was the last Shadows tier list. Like, I put him at like a A or like a B tier because I thought he was shit because he got absolutely nerfed into the ground with Wrecker being buffed, and it just didn't do anything to him. I thought he was gonna be way worse because Wrecker got buffed last patch as well, and he's just pretty much the exact same. His talents are garbage, but he makes up for it with being like super easy to play, doing a really sizable amount of damage, and just having pretty much a free pick on anybody. What makes him so good is that he gets pretty much a free ult off on anybody, and you turn the game in any point fight as long as you land your ult into a 4v5. It's fucking crazy. Like, his ult's so damn good. That's the reason why you're seeing him picked a lot. It really is. Like, I do think his talents need to be reworked. I do think they should bring back firing line. I think that should be replaced, and one of his talents should be replaced, and that should be brought back. But even with like 3 shitty talents, he's doing this well. Like I said, the main reason why you're seeing a lot of Khan and why he's that good right now, really easy to play, free pick and free kill with your ult every single point fight or every single point defense. When you need to cap a point or when you need to defend and you want to guarantee a defense, you throw out a Khan ult, throw somebody off the map, and you take it from a 5v5 down to a 4v5, and you win that fight. Unless your team's fucking garbage, and then you just lose still, which is usually half your ranked games, unfortunately, because matchmaking is so bad. That's an entirely different video, but kind of the gist of it right now. Leon's shield also still really good. Even with Wrecker being buffed, it's still really solid. I don't know. It's kind of where he is. I would not ban him every single game, though. The reason why I have him in SS and the reason why I would ban him is there's specific maps where you would want to ban him. But mainly the maps that you're going to be throwing shit off the side of the map. Like, I think on like Stone Keep would be a good map to ban him. Sometimes on Timber Mill, because half the map is open, you can get free kills at the end of every single point cap. Fish Market's a great map. Like that, I'd ban him on that map. I would 100% ban Khan on Fish Market because the entire map is open and you can pretty much grab somebody, throw them off the map, and guarantee a free kill every time. That's one map I'd ban him on. Like, there's a handful of other maps you also can argue banning him on. But like right now, that's mainly why I would ban him. Put him SS tier, broken. Needs to be nerfed or needs something changed about him to make him less consistent and like, I don't know. I don't even know where you even start with Khan. I really don't. I don't even know what they would change. I want him to have different talents, but that would just make him better. I don't know. Next we got Makoa. C tier. Makoa's going to C tier. He's garbage. Makoa's garbage right now. I fail to see any reason why you pick Makoa. Like, why do you pick Makoa? I have no clue. Huge head hitbox that pretty much everybody's going to be landing on and pretty much getting bonus damage on you. He's currently bugged right now too, which we actually found out on stream. Like, I'm actually recording this after stream. We actually got done streaming about 25 minutes ago, and we actually found that Makoa is currently bugged. You throw down your shell shield. I'm not sure if it's just for half shell or if it's all of his shields. I'm not sure. I think it may just be for half shell. But half shell right now is currently bugged. So when you throw it down, like you'll try firing or reloading your weapon and you'll be locked out of actually firing your weapon for a solid 3 to 5 seconds until your shield is like halfway down on his timer. And then you'll finally be able to do something. So he's currently bugged, which makes him fucking garbage. If that wasn't a problem to begin with, there's way more problems. Huge head hitbox, like I said. Really easy to hit. Like, I don't know what's good about him. Like, even with Ancient Rage, like, his talents are all garbage. Reg Anchor's fine, like whatever his pluck talent is probably the best one right now. If you're looking for like an off tank, but there's just so many better options. That's the problem with him. Like he's been nerfed in the ground so damn much that to the point where he's just garbage. Like he's so bad. He does okay damage for a tank. His damage is somewhat good, but I feel like apart from that, what does he really bring to a team? Like over everything else right now that's being played, I don't know. Like you're getting shit on by shit like Fernando. Like Fernando just throws a shield in your face all game. What are you gonna do to a Fernando? Nothing. You're not gonna do anything to him apart from like an ancient rage. That's the only time you're gonna be doing any damage to him. Once in a while, you'll be able to get a hook out of him, and you'll be able to hook him, but that's about it. Khan tosses you around. You don't really do much to him. Atlas just rewinds or just runs away from you. Barrack just does way more damage to you and survives way more than you on the point because he has a lot more self-sustain. I don't know. I really don't know. Like, even Onara, I think even Onara is better. Like, if you're going against Onara, I think you actually lose to Onara because she just does way more than you. She has way more survivability than you. She does. I don't know. I just think he's really bad right now. Like the only time I would pick him is as like an off tank, and you're looking for an off tank, and you're like an absolute Makoa god, and you land the majority of your hooks, and you're constantly getting picks with your dredge anchor and getting that bonus damage with pluck. Apart from that, I would not play him as a point tank, and I would definitely not play him as an off tank over a lot of the other stuff right now. I really wouldn't. And even then, if you play him with pluck as an off tank, if you don't pick them into stuff that doesn't have mobility, they pretty much run away from you. Anything that is smart enough and has one brain cell is going to run away from you if they see you trying to dive them and trying to hook them away. Like, they're not going to sit there and stand still and let you freely hook them. They're going to run away and poke at you from range so you can't do anything to them. C tier. I actually would move him down to D tier. I really would, but I don't think he's that bad. I think he's C tier worthy, but I don't think he's D tier worthy. But he definitely needs some major buffs or some type of rework or something in this next patch because he's god awful. I hate playing him. And there's a reason why you don't see him at either, like any of your ranked games either. I don't know. Just kind of where he is right now. Got Rom. I'm going to put Rom at an A+. I think Rom's really solid right now. I really do. As an off-tank, Rom is really good. I really do think he's really good. Like, you have really good amounts of self-sustain if you know how to play him. He's really difficult to kill. You get a lot of, like, the healers pair really well with him right now. The new rework Solar Blessing Furia, that pairs with him really well. Saris is great with him. There's a lot of healers that pair really well with him right now. Like, if you know what you're doing with Rom, like, it doesn't matter if somebody holds a shield in your face. Like, you have pretty much unlimited ammo anyways. So you can just sit and shoot at a shield the entire time. And then when their shield's gone, then you still shoot at them because you have way more ammo. You just don't have to stop firing. So it doesn't matter. Even then, if you really want to, you can also stack Wrecker. I wouldn't really do it unless you're going against, like, double shield for some reason. But I think he's one of the more solid off tanks in the game right now. Like, just the reason why you're going to pick him is just to harass their back line. If they have stuff that doesn't have much mobility, like DPS or supports that don't have much mobility, and you're just going to sit and harass them the entire game and just farm ult off the tanks. You throw out an ult like, what, every 45 seconds? Like, if you're constantly doing damage, you're throwing an ult out like every 45 seconds, like a minute and a half, and you're just getting huge value. If you can follow up off a Rom ult, you're getting free kills. If your team has more than like one brain, then you're going to at least be getting 1 kill per Rom ult. That's great value. Really spammable ults, really good. Like, Veteran also made him really good as well. Like, Veteran on Rom is great. It really is. It makes him feel so much better. Same with Haven being buffed. It really does. Got Ruckus next. I don't even know where I'd put Ruckus. I really don't. I think I'm going to put him in C tier. I don't think he's good at all. I think he's really bad right now. I really do. Like, what does Ruckus really do right now? I don't know. What does he do? As an off tank, what does he do? Because if you play him as a point tank, you're pretty much losing, and you're just throwing the game. So, as an off tank, what does Ruckus provide? He dives squishies that have no mobility. That's about the only thing. Who's gonna really let you do that though? Nobody. Unless you're playing like gold tier. Like if you're playing like high tier silver or like up to platinum 5, maybe you can get away with that. But up like above platinum 5, who's gonna let you freely just dive their backline and get a free kill every time? I don't know who's gonna let you do that, especially if you're playing Ruckus. C tier. Needs some major buffs or some major reworks because he's been really bad for, I don't know, half a year now. I think ever since the start of like season 3, he's been pretty damn bad. Was at almost 2 years, and he hasn't really gotten much significant buffs at all, apart from a few card buffs that done nothing to him. I don't know. Like every time I see a Ruckus on the enemy team in my ranks game, I'm like, oh, that's good. Well, that's just free damage and free alt charge for me. If I'm a DPS or like a flank or like even a support sometimes, I'm like, oh, well, they have a Ruckus. That's just free alt charge, free damage and free alt charge. That's fine. That's what I think when I see a Ruckus on the enemy team in my ranked games. Garbage. C tier. Same as Makoa. Same boat as Makoa. I don't think he's worth D tier. I don't think he's that bad. You can make him work once in a while, but definitely C tier. Got Terminus. He actually got nerfed. Terminus actually got nerfed this patch to where you don't gain Siphon charge off of hitting deployables or shields. And he's still just as broken, if not even worse, because of Veteran this patch. And pretty much Veteran being buffed or being a thing. You're going to ban Terminus in like 98% of your ranked games. And if he's not picked or banned, you pick Terminus and you win the game. That broken right now. He needs to be nerfed into the ground. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of Terminus. Keep in mind, that's even with 3 bans. You're still banning Terminus with 3 bans. You're using a ban on Terminus because that's still how good he is. You stack Nimble 3, you buy Cauterize or whatever you need as your second item, whatever you want, and then you go right into Veteran as your third item. That's what you get right now. Nimble 3, you just run shit down, especially if they have DPS or flanks or supports that have bad mobility. You just run shit down and you get free kills. Especially at your lower ranks, if you guys are playing your lower tier games, like your Silver 1 all the way up to like your Platinum 5 games, in there, around there, if they're not banning Terminus, you pick Terminus and you just win games. If you know what you're doing, you at least have a little bit of knowledge of what to do with Terminus, you just win games. That's how broken he is still. People don't know how to play against him at the lower tiers too. Like your mid to lower tiers, like I said, Silver 1 up to Platinum 5 or like mid Platinum around there. People just don't know how to play against him and know how to kill him or play properly into him. Like he just gets away with way too much. He's pretty much almost virtually unkillable in those tiers because nobody knows how to play against him. That's kind of where he is right now. I'd say he's pretty much a must ban in the majority of your games. If you don't ban him, then you better have a solid plan of how to kill him, because if you don't, then he just runs roughshod over your entire team. He's pretty much almost unkillable. If you do not have a plan on how to take him down, or like some type of CC or like some type of DPS or something on your team that can lock him down and kill him, you're going to be in for a rough time. That's why he's banned every single game. Needs to be nerfed into the ground. I'm sick of him. Torvald. I don't even know where I'd put Torvald. I put him at a D tier because he's fucking god awful. They buffed, nerfed Torvald this time. I think they increased the cooldown on his bubble for some reason. Why that made sense, I have no clue. Why would that be a balance change? I don't know. They slightly buffed his base damage on his gauntlet, and then I think they slightly buffed the damage on his ult, which is garbage anyways. Who's using a Torvald ult for the damage? If you're going to be using a Torvald ult, you're going to be throwing people off the map with it. Why would you ever use a Torvald Hyper Beam for the damage? Why would you ever buff the damage on his ult? I have no clue. Nobody uses ults for damage, and even if you did, you would kill nothing because it does nothing. It barely does damage to start with. I don't know. I think he's just really bad. He's really bad right now. The only time I would pick a Torvald is if you have like a specific team and you have something you're going to pocket the entire game. Whether that's a Koga, whether that's an Andro, whether that's a Mave, or like a DPS you want to pocket, and you have a specific plan and a specific comp that makes him work and is built around him. Otherwise, he's garbage. There is no reason to pick Torvald in any single one of your games. The only map I would pick Torvald on right now that's in the ranked rotation is Fish Market, because you can just knock people off the map with your ult at any point in the game. Apart from that, I would never pick Torvald. There's one map he's good on right now, and that's Fish Market. And Frog Isle, normally that would be in the rotation, but that's not in the ranked rotation right now. Frog Isle is out of the rotation, so there's one map right now in ranked currently, at least for this split, that he works on. That's it. I would never choose him. He's garbage. Does no damage. He has a silence in his kit, but the range is so damn bad that it doesn't do anything. You just get shit on. Your personal shield is so small now. They've nerfed it so much. And Wrecker's gotten buffed so much to the point where I think you just need like one damage, like one huge ounce of damage to like be thrown at you, and your entire shield's gone at once. It's to the point now where if I think somebody, even like with no Wrecker, throws like some decent amount of damage number at you, your shield's gone in like 1 second. He's garbage. Torvald needs an entire rework, or he needs an entire type of, like, I don't know. I don't think he should be deleted from the game because he does have a cool type of play style, like buffing people characters and giving people shields. I think that's cool. And I think that should be something that they should look at, or just entirely rework them. I think it's the point where they should be done buffing them and done trying to change the little minimal type things with them, and he needs to just be entirely reworked. It's at that point. He is trash. Apart from Fish Market, garbage. You're never going to be picking him, ever. Ever. If you pick Torvald in my ranked games, especially as a solo tank, you're going to get banned and you're going to get reported. Hopefully you get banned after people report you enough. And if you want to throw your ranked games, I don't know about you guys, but I'm assuming the most of you guys and the majority of you here are looking at this video and looking what to play in your ranked games to rank up and get better at the game. If you're one of them, like the one out of like a million people or whatever that is watching this type of video and looking how to rank down and try to get to bronze, I think if you want a champion for that, you can maybe pick Torvald. There you go. That's a perfect one for you. Or if you're just one of those trolls that just plays ranked to throw people's ranked games, I guess that's the perfect pick for you there as well. I guess if that's why you're here and you're just looking for the best champion in the game, at least for the tanks, to pick in your ranked games, to throw your game, because that's how you get your sick kicks, by throwing people's ranked games. There you go. Pick Torvald. Then we got Jagras. Last but not least, Mrs. Worm herself. I think Jagras right now is really good. I really do. Not worth a ban, but she's really good. I think she's really good. Like, that being said, you need to pair something with her, though. Like, she only works if you have a really good healer. That being Saris, that being Furia, Solar Blessing Furia, or like a Grover or a Ying. Or maybe a Damba. Apart from that, I would not choose her. Don't pick a Jagras if you have a Corvus. Don't pick a Jagras if you have Genos, if you have a Pip, if you have like anything else. Even like an Io. Io doesn't have enough healing to keep her fully sustained through Cauterize. She just doesn't. She heals a same amount, but she just doesn't. Like, there's only like 3 or 4 healers I would ever pick with a Jagras, and that's about it. If you do not have a healer out of all the ones I named, do not pick Jagras. That being said, though, if you have one of those, she does really well. If you have enough healing to keep her fully sustained, then you can actually pick her and she puts in a bunch of work. She's really solid right now. I think she's really boring to play. If you like really boring to play tanks that don't do much, apart from roll around half the game and then sit in one place on the point 90% of the game, that's the perfect tank for you. I think Jagras is a perfect play style for you if you're just one of those lazy type players that really doesn't want to play a tank that much, or like playing tank and just wants to play a really lazy playstyle type of tank. Perfect one for you. She even got nerfed this patch. I think they reworked her quills or something, and they reworked a couple of her loadout cards. She's still really good. You have to know when to use her ult, though. Like, her ult, she's extremely vulnerable during her ult. if you can make value out of her ults and you can get values and get free kills with her ult and get that instant execute by pulling them in and getting them devoured, then that kind of separates the good from like the average Jagras. That really does. If you're constantly getting picks with your ult and not dying during your ult and getting the full amount of value from your ult, that's what makes her even better. If you're able to do that, then you're going to be playing an insane Jagras. That, and if you don't feed the entire game. Don't play pinball, don't play ice hockey with her the entire game, meaning rolling around the map doing nothing the entire time. You're just sitting and rolling around the map and you're doing no damage, you're doing nothing the entire time. Don't play ice hockey, don't play pinball with Jagras. She's not that type of champion and you're just wasting your time. If you're doing that in your ranked games, play something else. You're worthless. If you're doing that, you're worthless to your team. Like, apart from that, I think she's really good right now. It's also at the point where she's been in the game long enough to the point where people know how to play against her and people are actually starting to know how to play her properly, which is really good to see. I think I've seen some really good, like solid Jagras in a lot of my ranked games recently, which is really good to see, because before she just didn't do anything. Like, she was just there and she would just roll around and feed and do nothing the entire game. So people are starting to learn how to play her. At the same time, people are starting to learn how to play against her, so which is kind of bad at the same time, but I think she's S tier right now. If you pick a healer that complements her and goes alongside her. She can play a solo tank, or she can play like an off tank that's really aggressive and just runs down like the back line and just is really annoying the entire game. Really solid right now. I think she's definitely worth an S if you pick a healer alongside her. If you don't, and you're picking like Genos or a Corvus, then I'd move her down to like B tier, because then you're doing nothing. You're just wasting your time. But if you're smart enough and you pick a healer that can actually keep her sustained, meaning like Ying, Damba, Grover, Furia, or like Ceres, I guess that's 5 healers, 4 or 5, whatever, then you can probably pick her and you can maybe get away with her. So there you go, guys. That's the entire Frontline / tank tier list for the Paladins mid-season patch Genlock. Depending on when you see this video, stuff could have maybe changed. I don't know. If you're watching this video like at the end of Season 4, stuff probably already changed. So keep that in mind whenever you're watching this video. Let me know in the comments down below if there's something I did not talk about, if there's something I did not discuss. Stuff like that. Like, a reason why a lot of these top tier tanks are really good as well, like Fernando being so good, is a lot of the item changes too. Like, a lot of the item changes, like, apart from a lot of the other roles in the game, didn't really do much. But for the tanks, I think they got the most out of the item buffs, especially Guardian. Like, if you're looking at the top tier tanks right now, the reason why they're really good is because of Fernando. You can stack Guardian, which makes pretty much what it does. It makes your shield better. That's kind of what it does. It makes your shields more effective. That makes them even more difficult to kill. You stack Guardian on Fernando. Same with Khan. Guardian on Khan is insane. Even with like Barrack, stuff like that. Like, those 3 tanks really benefit from Guardian. And then you add Veteran to that as well, which even buffs shit like Terminus, especially Jagras. Jagras is probably the most beneficial like user of Veteran. You pick it as a second item every time. That's how good it is on her. Just because she has such a large health pool that you get the most value out of it. It's percentage based, so you get so much more health off of Veteran. It's great on Jagras. If you want to play Jagras, I think you pick up Cauterize or whatever you want to pick up as your first item, as your essential, and then you go right into a Veteran as your second item. I think that's what you do with the Jagras right now. That's another reason why you're seeing her played a lot, and that's why she's doing really well. Mainly because of Veteran and because people are starting to learn how to play her better. Apart from that, like a lot of the other roles, like Veteran, Guardian, Haven, whatever, didn't really change overly that much, but those items kind of, like the majority of those items really affected the tanks, and I think that's why the tanks right now, you could argue tanks and supports are probably the best in the game right now. It's kind of a toss-up, whichever your preference is. I think right now, I think tanks are probably the best in the game right now. Tanks are the best role in the game. They're probably the most boring role to play in the game, if I'm being completely honest. I think playing tank right now is really boring. Apart from playing like Rom and Atlas, and maybe Ashe, I don't enjoy playing any of the tanks right now. I really don't. At least me personally, that's me. Maybe you guys enjoy playing the tanks, but I think just playing tank right now, they're insanely good, but at the same time, they're just really boring to play. I don't know. At least for me personally, like I said, there's like 3 tanks in the game that I do enjoy playing. Like I said, Atlas, Rom, and Ashe. And maybe Barrack with Forge Fire and his new talent, reworked talent. And apart from that, I really don't enjoy playing tank, and that's why I really don't play it that often. Especially if you're solo queuing ranked, you have to have a good healer on your team, and you're just kind of crap shooting on that as well. Like, keep in mind, this list is pretty much from like Silver 1 all the way up to your mid-tier Diamond games. That's kind of what this list is for. So, hopefully this helps you guys. You can rank up. Pretty self-explanatory. Like I said, if there's something I did not mention or forgot to talk about, let me know in the comments down below. As well as anything if you guys want to discuss with each other down there, or something to post for everybody to see. I do respond to like all the comments and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. I will do these tier lists again when the next patch drops. So if you guys do not want to miss any of my future videos or any of my tier lists, as for my next couple videos, depending on when you're seeing this, they'll probably maybe be already out, but at least later this week still, I got planned a raid guide for the brand new support. I'm going to be making an entire guide video going through loadouts and stuff like that. And then a video talking about her, how she is currently balance-wise and what they need to do to fix her, at least like balance-wise, and make her at least feel better in game. So, like I said, depending on when you're seeing this video, those videos could be already out, and they're maybe already live on the channel. But if you guys are interested in these type of videos, or if you guys just want to stop by for when I'm live streaming, I do live stream Paladins pretty much at least 3 to 4 times a week, and I play a bunch of other stuff as well, like Overwatch, Smite, Apex, some other stuff sometimes as well. And that interests you, please subscribe. I really would appreciate it. Leave a like and share the video. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for stopping by and watching the entire video. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. I will link a playlist to the rest of the tier list at the end of this video within like the next 10 or 30 seconds. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks you guys for stopping by. And peace out. I'll see you guys in a future video.